CFM Radio.
Happy Halloween, CFM Radio. We are live.
Greetings.
Greetings. Hey, Joseph Ledesma in the chat. How's it going? CFM Radio. We are here. We are live. Drix, how you
Welcoming
doing?
all trick-or-treaters tonight. Playing a little bit of music from American McGee's Alice.
Hell
It was
yeah.
Falling Down the Rabbit Hole, and the sequel, Alice Madness Returns. A song called Madness and some other themes coming up here. Got plenty of spooky music for you guys tonight. And we might even do a little monstrous discussion.
Indeed. We definitely have a monstrous discussion lined up later. Really quick recap of the week. Light week this week. Just had some Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links over on twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. If you're listening live with us right now, drop us some hearts, give us some emotes, let us know you're here, and give us a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And Drix, as we move into next week, I can't wait for your next edition of Mother Monday, but I also can't wait for this Halloween because we've got a big release on Halloween,
Yeah.
and we've
What
got
could be the last Mother Monday coming
Yeah.
up next week.
what could be the last Mother Monday. So definitely big things coming pretty much right around the corner. And I definitely have a big topic for everybody and all of us at the top of this Halloween or pre-Halloween night. And because Drix,
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I don't know what's more in the spirit of Halloween than big scary monsters.
Yes, monsters indeed. And if you have a PlayStation Plus subscription, you might know the kind of monsters we're talking about.
Well, and absolutely, because while I didn't get a drop in on this early beta period for PS Plus subscribers, unfortunately, we are going to move right into our first topic today. Drix is going to give us his impressions of the Monster Hunter Wilds beta exclusively for PlayStation Plus subscribers. We're going to switch that over onto the B-roll right here. Monster Hunter Wilds. Drix, what'd you think? This is you on the B-roll.
Dude, man, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of boss fight the game done in this way, but Monster Hunter almost has like a culture behind it. Maybe, kind of Japanese, maybe a bit of an import. But you're getting together with your friends. I know people that used to play Monster Hunter on their PSPs and stuff, and in high school.
Nice.
And this feels super solid. It's just I feel like I'm returning home again almost because I played World and Rise, and the biggest difference between all three of them, I think, is just transversing around the map. You had a bit of the Spider-Man kind of grappling hook action in Rise, but this one you have a Seek-It, or a monster, kind of like your mount that follows you around. And the biggest change I noticed was there's an auto move on your Seek-It when you're mounted.
Ooh.
And so when you're hunting and you're beating up on a monster and then it runs away, you're appropriately named like Seek-It. It will seek it and automatically run towards wherever the monster flees to. If you've played Monster Hunter before, there is the same selection of weapons, and before you really dig into it, like if you're a newcomer to the franchise and the series, you gotta just try all the weapons out, and that's kind of what this beta test did and sort of was good at doing. You get in there, you enjoy your little cinematic cutscene introduction, and then you could just get to trying out all the weapons, because Some would say, oh, monsters are weak against bullets, and you can just go completely ranged, not even go anywhere near any monsters, blast them from far away. You got your several different varieties of axes, and they all kind of swing a little bit differently. The hunting horn, man, you hit a monster with like this giant saxophone thing.
Wait, what?
And it's the hunting horn. It's almost like the bard class where you can play songs that give stat bonuses to your party members if you group up on your hunts. So yeah, a lot of cute Japanese charm in like your palicos, and like if you don't go on hunts with groups, you always have like your fun cat friend with you all the time.
I remember that from Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, exactly. And they've been around for a while, always cooking up delicious meals to give you bonuses on and stuff. I'm really excited for the release of this one. It's a current gen edition of the Monster Hunter series that we haven't seen one just quite yet. So beautiful visuals as always, and you can choose to play the game in the Monster Hunter language or like change the palicos so they sound more or less not human. But yeah, Monster Hunter language continues and carries on. I got to group up with some people online, and there's like about 3 hunts. There's like 3 different monsters, and they're probably just sizing up the servers and seeing how they handle things. But me as a fan, like, I'm super excited to dive into Monster Hunter Wilds and team up and get hunting.
It definitely looks beautiful. You're seeing it right here on the B-roll. The cutscenes and definitely the food looks amazing. You mentioned your palico, but I'm cooking up all the food. But one of the things that I'm really interested in is, like you were saying, you teamed up with people online. Did you think that, was there anything new that like stuck out to you from the online play as someone who's like a seasoned Monster Hunter player? Or was there anything like when you jumped into this that like you couldn't really hit the ground running? Like anything brand new, anything blindsiding you? Like is there anything for like feels like it's made for the new player, or is this just feel like just straight Monster Hunter?
Yeah, it kind of just feels like straight Monster Hunter. One thing I noticed was I think like the lobby size got like a healthy boost because it feels more like a gathering hub when you're in the base camp. I jumped on for like the second time after the introduction and just saw like, oh, this place is populated. There's people here, and even
kind
when you're
like
on
a Destiny thing.
Yeah, a little bit. And even when you're on hunts, you can still receive messages from what's going on elsewhere in the lobby. So maybe like new levels of like communication and stuff like that, easier to navigate around some of the shortcuts, and a lot of like, oh hi, nice to meet you. Oh sorry, I let the monster run away. Those are always fun.
What?
Nice little chats you end up having, especially if your teammate, his name is in like Japanese or something. They're always very nice.
Oh, hey, you know what? At least people are courteous. Monster Hunter, like you were saying, kind of got a culture based around the game.
Core. Yeah, like their Monster Hunter has like a language, Monster Hunter language. It's funny when I always try to set your game in that language if you can. It's a lot of fun.
Hell yeah! So, from what I understand, there's gonna be another beta period coming up here. Do you think do you think you enjoyed it enough that you would jump back into another beta period before, or if it was offered to you, or you think even if what you saw was like the most out of it, do you think you want to just jump back in, or do you think I'm cool? Maybe if you haven't played the beta before, someone listening hasn't played the beta before, check it out. But for someone like you, or for anybody else with PlayStation Plus who has had the beta, is it worth going back when the public beta happens? Or is it, if you played it and that's all that there is to offer, then you're pretty much ready for the full game when it comes out at the top of the year next year.
Yeah, you're more or less ready if you dive into the beta and play it a little bit. I would check it out again to see if there's anything more, or to see how the servers handled. Maybe test out your own internet connectivity.
True.
Yeah, and I want to see if they add a little more content, because you can't really like smith anything. Like there's a huge not learning curve, but like there's so much loot and equipment to like upgrade and stuff. So they don't really show you too much of that, but there's a lot of there's in any Monster Hunter game, there's always like a lot of replayability, like at the end, like even if you roll the credits, like you're still gonna keep playing after you've sort of beaten like the base game until like the expansion comes out or something. But you can always team up even further and just like get the sickest armor and stuff.
Absolutely, isn't it? I would always think that Monster Hunter, big part of Monster Hunter was the crafting, and to hear you say that there's not a lot of, or that there's no crafting, oh dang, or at least no crafting in the beta. Yeah, there's no crafting in the beta. Like, man, you're out there fighting the monsters, base armor.
Go for it, man!
It's pretty nice. If you show up late to Monster Hunter, usually they'll give you like a nice set of starter armor that can get you, say, from the base game to like an expansion if they come out with one later.
Nice. Well, it sounds awesome. Sounds like just if you're a fan of straight up Monster Hunter, you're down with the Monster Hunter formula and you want more. Hey, like I said, I'm not a big Monster Hunter guy, but I'm watching this B-roll. It looks gorgeous. This big toad you're fighting, the food, it looks so fun. It looks like all the attacks you're landing on it look heavy and meaty, especially when you like land the heavy attacks and then shoot the gun.
The gun lance. Oh my god, the only game to feature a gun lance, really. So my path is always was the best offense is a solid defense, so I like to block the attacks with the shield. The lance is usually my go-to, but the gun lance just fires off shells too, so that's fun. You can charge those up.
Hell yeah! So from Drix, he's a Monster Hunter fan, seasoned Monster Hunter player. He says it's straight up Monster Hunter. If you have not played it, or if you did not check out the beta for the PS Plus players, you didn't have time like me. When it comes back around, check it out. But I will say, now correct me if I'm wrong here, Drix, but it doesn't sound like there's if this isn't your thing, if maybe you're someone like me, it might not change hearts and minds when it comes to the franchise. But I want to jump in just to see these visuals in high fidelity on my screen.
I like the sense of community almost. The hunters, the gathering hub. You can always hop on like the official Monster Hunter Discord if you need people to hunt with. And
nice.
There's probably people out there who are happy to help out any new players with any questions.
That's Monster Hunter Wilds. The full game releases next year, and we are talking about the open beta the beta for PlayStation Plus members. It concluded tonight at the top of the show. So if you didn't get in, you're gonna have to wait, I think, till next week. At the next weekend, I believe, is the next one.
Yes.
I'll figure it out. I'll have an exact date sometime later on in the stream. But right now, I think it's safe to move into some gaming news, Drix.
Gaming news.
Oh yeah, I got your music. You bring the news. Let's do it.
Let's do it. And first up, we are going to just, here it is, Drix. We're gonna jump right in because we have it. It's here. Drix, it's the final word on Concord.
Oh boy. Yeah, is it sounding like a nail in a coffin?
I wouldn't say so much as a nail in the coffin, so much as a nail gun rapidly firing 18 nails to just shut it down, and then putting it in the back of a dump truck and just throwing it into like a landfill. Like it was. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It was pretty unceremonious, all things considered. We're just going to jump right into here. From SonyInteractive.com, the press release headline is titled, quote, "An update from PlayStation Studios."
Yes, a word from our sponsors.
And I want to just make sure that the note that was left is clear, because it's right here and it's right at the top, right before the meat of this press release. And it is, quote, "Below is an internal email from Herman Holst, CEO, Studio Business Group, Sony Interactive Entertainment, distributed today to SIE employees. Today as of October 29th, 2024. We're going to jump right into it, because here's the thing. The email itself is long, but it does cut to the chase right within the first few paragraphs with this line, quote, "As part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen SIE studio business, we have had to make the difficult decision relating to two of our studios, Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios." Reading further, with this refocused approach to mobile, Neon Koi will close, and its mobile action game will not be moving forward. I want to express my gratitude to everyone at Neon Koi for their hard work and endless passion to innovate. Regarding Firewalk, as announced in early September, and they're referencing the release, an important update on Concord. Certain aspects of Concord were exceptional, but others did not land with enough players. As a result, we took the game offline. We have spent considerable time these past few months exploring all of our options. After much thought, we have determined the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game and close the studio. I want to thank all of Firewalk for their craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. Well, Drix.
Ah, yes. Will we forever be haunted by the specter of Concord?
Hey, that's that, I guess.
Yes, you play the beta and then something bad happens a week later or something. A couple months later, bad things come if you played Concord.
Yeah, it's sad to say too, because especially since here's the thing, right? If you were around the internet, if you listen to your
adjacent.
Yeah, you listen to your gaming podcasts and your gaming YouTubers and your industry pundits, we all thought I believe we even said here on this show, we all thought that Concord was going to try to make a comeback. Hey man, you've spent all that money, you spent all that time. These assets are made, right? The game is here. You might as well fucking make the most out of it.
Let us play it.
No,
Drix. Of you.
No.
Nah.
If you got to play it, you got to play it.
Yeah, we are among the few.
Yeah, the few, the proud, the Concord players.
Oh boy. Yeah, and mobile game down.
Yes.
The likes of Neon Koi.
And it's interesting. They were developing a mobile action game. It got shut down in an effort to refocus the mobile division.
Huh. All right. Rebrand, reoptimize. Change places, everyone.
Yeah. Change places, everybody. And so that's going to be it. Firewalk Studios, gone. Neon Koi, whatever they were working on, gone. And the studio, gone. Drix, I have it's interesting because later on in this release, they do mention, I wanted to say this before we go into break right here. I do want to mention Concord in this release, Herman Hulst did say that he acknowledges the intensely competitive and crowded live service shooter space.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if that is saying like the quiet part out loud, right? Like we were like really late on the draw, and
Yeah.
like we were just so late to the party that we just couldn't turn a profit. But I have a feeling that like a lot of your YouTube pundits said, that probably was the biggest factor, the biggest contributing factor to the demise of Concord was you're not gonna pull people from Overwatch unless you make it Marvel, right?
Yeah, I mean, we had the data on the show for who's playing live service games the most, and like people in their 30s and stuff, they're still fine with playing single player against the computer. So yeah, you line up the story with that data there, and you're the live service game market is like kids after school, and why would they step away from Fortnite or Overwatch to play Concord?
Yeah, or any of those games, especially with the and you know what? Again, got to give it to the pundits. $40 price tag, deal breaker, right? When you've got all these other games that are free to play, and you're over, especially Overwatch, and you're over here like $40 price tag, it really screams to me just a lack of even awareness, like market awareness, because you have to think this guy Herman Hulst, he had to be there saying, oh, it's gonna be fine, this game is just like Overwatch. I could see it, it's just like Overwatch. People will be okay with spending $40 because people spent $40 on Overwatch, not realizing fucking Overwatch rebranded as a free-to-play game.
Yeah, completely missing the mark on that one. I mean, yeah, there's so many other games have like apply the same model, so I don't know. Their finger's not on the pulse there as far as live services.
Not at all. So it's a damn shame. I hope everybody who lands on that, who is involved in this project, lands on their feet. Even like maybe not the people, maybe I'll say it like this. Maybe the director of the studio who stepped down, maybe he won't really land on his feet, because regardless of what anyone says, Concord, I also believe that Concord, I think both of us can agree, one of Concord's biggest drawbacks was a lack of vision and identity.
Yeah, especially for the, like I said, the after-school live service game market, for kids with friends and time on their hands. It's not really going to hit that mark. You got to marvel it up.
Yeah, you got to marvel it up. Marvel Rivals coming out soon. Like, that's going to hit all the marks.
Or at least animate. You got to Demon Slayer it with the kimono.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
You
got to give me some kind of franchise. Bugs Bunny, right? Like, make Bugs Bunny fight LeBron, and it'll be good. Like,
yeah. Don't worry, they'll love it.
They'll love it. We'll be right back with some new releases, and we'll jump back into more video game news. But Drix, we got this awesome guitar riff shredding in the back. What are we listening to?
This is Castlevania Symphony of the Night from the Sega Saturn, a song called The Tragic Prince.
The Tragic Prince, CFM Radio will be back. If you're here with us live, let us know and give us a like.
CFM Radio.
New releases next.
CFM Radio.
CFM Radio, we are back.
We are back and we are live. And as we do every week, we are bringing you new releases. That last song was called You're Not Here from Silent Hill 3 for the PS2.
I gotta say, that sounded like a straight up 90s, like, post-grunge track. Like, that shit was so
college
dope.
rock.
Yeah. I'm
But
fucking,
you're at the Bronze and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah,
just
legit. It's such
you're
a...
studying, but you're dancing.
Legit Buffy vibes. Before I jump into new game releases, I wanted to give everybody some clarity. The crossplay open beta test for Monster Hunter Wilds begins PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and Steam on October 31st. Spooky Halloween Thursday goes till Sunday, November 3rd. So get in there and get your stuffed feline teddy pendant.
Very nice. Yeah, always got to collect them all before you go on your hunts.
Absolutely. And now we have some new game releases. First up, we've got...
A dragon on the horizon?
Ooh, maybe some Guardians. It is Dragon Age, the Veil Guard. Easily the biggest release of the week.
Oh yeah, big time. Big BioWare vibes from people who brought you classic games.
Yes, such as the original Dragon Age and Mass Effect. But Drix, this one, it's pretty divisive. We've got the scores, they're either high highs or big mehs.
Big meh, huh? Just some people think it's aggressively mids.
Aggressively mid.
I wonder if they're just turned off by like the look of it, like it doesn't look Dungeons and Dragons enough or something.
Maybe. Actually, it's a lot of, from what I understand, it's a lot of gameplay and narrative gripes. Because I just, from what I understand, I haven't played it. I do want to play it because it looks pretty good. I love the way it looks. But from what I understand, it's a little bit juvenile and a little bit in the gameplay department and in the writing and narrative. But either way, I've got this for you from the official website because, listen, that's only one side. The other side says this is like a return to form for BioWare. So we've got, from the official Dragon Age The Veil Guard website, quote, "Rise as Rook, Dragon Age's newest hero. Be who you want to be and play how you want to play as you fight back and lead your team of 7 companions, each with their own rich story. Together, you will become the Veil Guard."
Nice. Little fellowship there.
Right?
Little friendship.
Little friendship.
Party members, sounds kind of Mass Effect.
Absolutely.
As far as them having their own stories and stuff.
Hell yeah. And you know what? That's always one of the best parts of BioWare games, the interactivity between the party members. And Dragon Age The Veil Guard releases this Thursday, October 31st. That's tomorrow, Drix, for Xbox Series consoles, PS5, and PC.
Yep, get your dragon fix on Halloween.
Now, we've got more of a low-key release, especially in comparison to the titanic name of Dragon Age, and that is Farmagia.
Farmagia.
Farmagia? I don't know.
Yes.
So,
you're gonna be farming, all right.
Oh, absolutely. From the Steam page, quote, "Command an army of monsters in this all-new action game featuring character designs by famed manga artist Hiro Mashima. Take a stand, free the people of Felicidad as a Farmagia named 10 when monster farming, adventure, and hectic battles come together in an epic tale of rebellion and friendship." Drix, Farmagia hits Switch and PC this Saturday, November 1st.
Ooh, yeah, nice Switch title. This one looks pretty cool. I'm a bit of a, I was just talking about Monster Hunter. I also played a lot of Monster Rancher, and it seems like you're going to be ranching your monsters on your farm.
On the farm.
Yeah, enough JRPG action to keep you interested and keep those monsters battling.
Definitely looks like it. Definitely looks like has that almost like a the action almost looks kind of like a Ni no Kuni style, right? With all the monsters and the commands on the screen. Like,
yep, cute little pets,
hell
pals,
yeah.
if you will.
The pals. And again,
Yep.
Farmagia comes out this Friday, November 1st on Nintendo Switch and Steam. Oh, and PS5.
Yes.
Sorry. That's quite the spread of consoles. No Xbox. Sorry, Xbox fans.
Nope, they must not have liked that one in the development phase.
And you know what? I thought I had some. I thought I had some damn Bethesda footage here, but we're gonna have to throw up some. I'm just gonna throw up the. What are we gonna do? We'll put up. We'll just put up some WarioWare because you know what? Dragon Age is a big game. And
Yeah,
with big
that's the
games,
hot one we've been talking about for a while.
and with big games, Drix, comes big expectations.
Yeah, boy, you got to live up to the standards of all the effort you put into making a video game, didn't you?
And again, Drix, it's a big name, but the demand for the name is astronomically huge. Some would say it's bigger than the name of the game itself. And you know, Bruce Nesmith, Skyrim's lead designer, who is also the systems designer of Fallout 4 and Starfield, are the lead Skyrim lead. He says that the industry has become, quote, unsustainable, Drix.
Yeah, pressure's on, guys, I guess. I mean, the bigger your team gets, the more money is involved, the more responsibilities that come with your power.
It's not like we haven't been talking about layoffs for the better part of the year. What, we've been for almost 6 months. We were talking straight. We're talking layoffs every week on the show. So, jeez.
Yeah, hang on to your hats.
From videogamer.com, the headline is, quote, Fallout designer speaks out on quote, unsustainable games industry. Quote, if you're not a big hit, you're dead.
Yeah, I think that about sums it up.
I think so too, but you know what? Here it is from the article, quote, I see it as unsustainable, Nesmith said. I don't see it as a sustainable model for the industry. And there's a variety of reasons for it. Simple economics is one. In order to sell a game that you spent 6 years working on, you have to sell tens of millions of copies. That's the only way you're going to recoup your loss. So if it isn't a big hit, you're dead.
Yeah, really drives that one home. 6 years you need to earn tens of millions of copies sold.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it's either hit or get hit off. Like,
yeah, or have the gamers that be like, oh, you wasted your life making that darn game.
You wasted the game. But he elaborates further, quote, console makers are very, very good about trying to give you a heads up, but they can't give you something that doesn't exist yet. If the Xbox One isn't available, even as a dev unit, you're making your game anyway. And then you get a hold of the dev unit and, oh my god, this is how it works? Oh, I've got to change everything. Imagine that, man, with a 6-year, 8-year, 10-year lead cycle. And Drix, you know what? This rings true. We've been hearing things coming out of Bethesda, like the marketing department, saying that they should have never announced the Elder Scrolls 6 because they're never going to live up to those expectations. And you have it right here. Proof is in the pudding. 6-year, 8-year, 10-year lead cycle. Can you give me the next Xbox?
Yeah, I mean, who knows how long that's going to take and when it's going to drop. And hopefully, if you're in development in a game, you don't have to do too much backtracking once you realize the hardware you're working with.
I was just about to say the amount of backtracking, like, oh my goodness, like with the speed of technology, man.
No one is safe.
It's just, how can you even keep up? And then but you would think that, right? And then, like he says, you get the dev unit in your hands, and then all of a sudden, SpaghettiOs. Like, I didn't even have, or I overestimated or underestimated. I have to do everything over again. And you know what, Drix? He's good right here. He then commented on the size of ballooning teams. And like you were saying earlier, more people means more money.
Mm-hmm. More responsibility for what you do with it.
And he directly hits on it right here. Quote, if I have 50 people working on a title and then I add 50 more people, I don't get twice the productivity. You get maybe 80% productivity, he says.
Yeah. I mean, they're all still a team, part of the same unit. So, I mean, a lot of moving parts, a lot of pieces at play that got to fall into place.
It's a brutal thing to think about, especially with the amount. And this is a guy he's coming out of Bethesda. He was the lead on Skyrim. He was the system designer for Starfield and Fallout 4. So this guy is working, like he said, 6-year, 8-year, 10-year lead times. You're already making these games. And then on top of it, you are having games being made, especially in this generation, more and more made for the previous generation as they're being made for the current generation. And I think that speaks to his points right here. You're making big bets on something that can only run on the most current generation hardware. Like it and you expect it to sell millions of copies. We were talking before the show, Drix. I'm so happy that Final Fantasy 16 got a PC release, because a lot of the people that I follow on social media and a lot of the people that I follow on YouTube and stuff like that are playing it for the first time, and guess what? They're loving it just like we did.
Yeah, I mean, get your hands on it, play it, see what it's about, but man, good luck making it if it's not a giant hit, though.
Because here's the thing, Drix. Something's got to give at this point, right? I think with the points that he's making here, especially when it comes to team sizes and the productivity that they yield,
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Is the investment worth it for a situation like
Triumph or die?
I don't know.
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
I think we're gonna find out in the years coming up. There's a lot of moving parts coming around, or moving around, in the industry. You got a PAL World versus Nintendo. You've got and the next thing we're gonna talk about right now is Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Drix, it's out.
Yeah, it's happened. The latest edition of Black Ops, a new Call of Duty, almost annually. So here we go. I even got, I guess, the 7th version of the Black Ops Zombies theme called Damned. About to roll for you right now.
There it is, because we're gonna finish off the news with a little bit of Call of Duty talk, because Drix, we have Mr. Christopher Dring of GamesIndustry.biz hitting us with the following off of Zitter.
Yes.
His tweet says, "Okay." Our quote, "Okay, UK physical sales for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 are in. Launch sales are 10% lower compared with Modern Warfare 3. This is almost entirely due to a drop in sales on Xbox, which was inevitable with Gamepass. PS5 sales remain steady year on year. Digital data to come." Now, it's a shame the digital data isn't quite available yet, because presumably, Drix, that would also take a hit from Game Pass as an option to play. And I would even guess that the Game Pass option is going to be the thing that you're going to lose the most money on.
Yeah, I mean, ActiBlizzSoft just streaming their products. You know, it seems like they were expecting that drop in sales if people are gonna take the streaming option.
Which is interesting to think because I don't know how that is really how you're gonna quantify that, because you have, so the physical sales are steady on PS5 year on year, but the digital sale, both of us know Capcom kind of, you know, back when we were covering Capcom's anniversary, they kind of spilled the beans on digital sales in gaming, that they were 60% of their overall gaming sales.
Yeah,
was digital.
Definitely part of their 3-year plan for their games.
Yeah, so when you're having large companies like Capcom coming out and saying, hey, you know what, we're going to focus on digital, we're going to have our games be 3-year plans as opposed to trying to make it a huge hit, investing everything into one big swing, we're going to make it more like a slow drip, because we know there's going to be a huge influx of people who buy it, and then over a 3-year period you add a little bit more content and more people will buy it. And Drix, I should probably look up some figures for Resident Evil 4 remake, because we're coming up on 3 years.
Yeah.
So
no, and I know people who are still buying it. Like, sometimes it just takes people time to like get these games. Like, maybe they're not on the right paycheck, or you know, maybe they just got other stuff going on, and it's like, you know, even like good music, you know, takes time to get out there a little bit. Kind of has to run its rounds and pay its dues, I guess.
I mean, just get the exposure that it needs to get. You know, there are times, you know, we're seeing, you know, we've
word of mouth, even, you know, play it and then talk about it, and then maybe somebody else will want to play it.
I'll use a really close to home example, at least for me. There's a band out of my hometown, South Pasadena, called the Linda's punk girl band, and they've been kicking ass for about 4 or 5-ish years now, and their payoff just happened. They just opened up for Green Day down here in San Diego. So,
dang.
You know, it could be one of for a video game, right? Especially, think about it like this. At least I think about it like this. I play a lot of, as someone who's playing the Capcom games that we're talking about, I play Street Fighter 6. I have a copy of Resident Evil 4. You know, those are 2 really good games made to use it as an example, because they both run on the same engine.
Yeah.
There are 2 very different styles of games, and these games not only look great, but they play great, and they have a solid amount of content. Street Fighter 6 has a continuous amount of content. Resident Evil 4 has wound down its content, but it expanded on the Ada Wong chapter. It added a bunch of characters for the Mercenaries mode, for the multiplayer mode that you can play as. And it doesn't matter whether you like the Mercenaries mode or not. The fact that you can play as a lot of characters that aren't even really in the game, like Black Cloak Wesker, right? Like,
jeez, yeah. Spanning the whole franchise.
Yeah, so it seems like Capcom is a little bit ahead of the game on this. Japan in general seems just a little bit ahead of the game on this whole ballooning industry idea, because I don't know if here's the thing. I'm not a huge shareholder or stockholder in anything to where I would have any input or say in any sort of financial return or return on investment. I'm not like the guy who bought shares of Nintendo's to ask about F-Zero.
Yeah, I'm an F-Zero guy.
So, but I would be interested to see exactly the damage to the bottom line when it comes to this Call of Duty digital impact, because
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Drix, but you could play a $70 game day one for $20.
Yeah.
If you waited on it, you could play it for free with a free trial. Or you could do like what I did with you, be like, hey buddy, can you hook me up with like a 5-day Game Pass pass?
Yeah, that invite code.
Yeah.
Free trial.
So and I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, or where anyone who's listening comes from, but $20 is not $70.
Certainly is not.
And if you get, I know that this Call of Duty it's supposed to have like an 8-way run, and it's supposedly one of the best campaigns in years. Drix, I pay $20 to play Call of Duty for a month and play the campaign for what, a week maybe? I'm just trying to crunch the numbers in my head. You know, I get a full-time job. Maybe I have another hobby. Maybe I play Magic, or I'm like you, I play pinball. You know, I have a life, right?
Yeah.
So like, I'm out here. I'm trying to have a life. I'm trying to play some pinball. I'm trying to get my day-to-day done. But I also really want to play some Call of Duty.
Yeah. I'm in this band and we're going places.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but I also want to play the latest Blackops because it's Black Ops or whatever. You know, whatever your motivation might be. Is $20? I think we're about to see. Is $20 for a campaign, especially if the campaign is one of the best campaigns in years, the best campaign for the last 2 or 3 Call of Duties. This Call of Duty got a 9 out of 10 by IGN. The last few Call of Duties got like 6 and 7s. Okay, so
boy, yeah.
So this is the Call of Duty, right? Like this is the comeback. So I think we're gonna see if this comeback really can put its money where its mouth is, especially with its Xbox and PC user base. Because I'll tell you what, Drix, you could say what you want, but the PC version of Game Pass is not $20. It's still like $13, and you still get day one games.
Oof. Yeah. Man. So dip in sales on PC as well for them. If you know, how do we measure the immeasurable? How many people could have bought the game but didn't because they were streaming it?
or how many people bought the game, didn't buy the game because maybe you just want to play multiplayer? That's another thing, right? We got to remember this isn't a cut and dry thing. It's not like, oh, I just get Game Pass and now I can play Call of Duty. No, there's different tiers of Game Pass. So like, you know, so I don't think you get the campaign with your main, like the regular Game Pass, like straight up Game Pass Core. I think that's, what do they call it? The Game Pass Core subscription. I don't think you get the campaign, but I think you get only the multiplayer. So how many people are going to only play the multiplayer, and for how long will they be able to, like, they only care about multiplayer? Will those people continue to pay monthly for multiplayer, for Call of Duty multiplayer? Do they turn it off and on? Like, what is is the stats on this? What is this going to be? And I think Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is the inflection point on this. Will Game Pass work or not?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like one of the biggest names in games, so if there's anything to measure, like, this is going to be your point of reference for that.
First we had Diablo, now we have Call of Duty, and I think by this time next year, we'll have a good grasp on the damage that Game Pass has done to just how we look at, how we consume video games. Because and
the game economy.
Everybody listening, make no mistake. It's, when I say damage, I'm not using any kind of, like, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. It is damage. Like, there is.
It devalues the actual products.
Bobby Kotick himself said in court, in the Activision versus Activision, Microsoft, Sony acquisition case, that he does see a world in which a service such as Game Pass could have the same effect as it does in video games that services such as Disney Plus and Hulu have had to TV and movies. And
Wow. Yeah, biggest competition with games is Netflix, right?
and sleep.
And sleep, work, food.
Yeah, food, living. But that's where we're at. And Call of Duty is going to be one of those games. Will enough people pay month to month to play Call of Duty? Will they realize that I've spent $100 and then another
3 days early
to play 3 days early, and then another $100? No, I'm saying it like this. I've paid $100 to play this game for like 6 months, and then maybe I've paid another $100 to get the cosmetics that I wanted in the game.
gone. Yeah,
And so we'll see exactly how much you can squeeze the end user, and then compile that with more sales on top of other platforms. Because again, this isn't just an Xbox thing. This is a PC thing. PlayStation 5, yeah, year over year, stays the same year over year. No shit, it's the only place that you can't play the game pretty much for free.
Yeah, that's gonna stay right where it is if you're playing on PS5.
So Drix, we're gonna see exactly how this shift is going to affect the industry, how people consume Call of Duty, if people will continue to consume Call of Duty in the same way. So it's a really interesting thing. It's like the war where we were talking the almost like the battle of philosophies, the Capcom philosophy, whether it's the 3-year plan for your releases or the Game Pass philosophy, where you've got like 4 or 5 like huge big blockbuster releases to carry a service that holds not just a ton of baggage for the for a platform that's not Xbox, like the console Xbox, but also has a lot of baggage in that, guys, there's just the games on offer, just they're not, most of them ain't compelling.
Yeah, I mean, baggage also in all the studios they bought, and the financial return on all that we may never see happen in our lifetime.
Studios that were bought and closed. We were talking. We gave Sony a lot of shit in this episode because they shut down Concord, and that was like a $200 million, $300 million investment, and all those guys and Neon Koi, who we didn't even know what they were doing, shut them the fuck down. But we can't forget, Xbox has shut down about 9 development studios this year.
Yeah, after acquiring them too. So
yep,
who's on the bigger rampage here?
We're, like I said, Drix, I think by this time next year, we're going to see exactly who's on a rampage and who is the victim of being trampled by it. So...
yeah, the ripples in the blood wake.
So that will be... I think that's enough for us on CFM Radio. That's a spooky note to end it all on. Will your games even be the same?
Ooh, the industry changes. It's not sustainable. Your game better be a hit.
If it's not a hit, you're gonna die.
Or at very least lose your job.
Yeah.
Your sweet game dev job.
Your sweet game dev job where there was too many cooks in the kitchen of trying to design the key art logo for the...
Ah, yes. Where doubling the team doesn't double the productivity.
Doesn't double the product. Well, you don't say.
Yes. Now we're screwing around on the job.
So, I do believe, Drix, after all of this scary game industry change talk, I think it's time to just cut loose and play some games that we love.
Yeah, I hope everybody has a safe and happy Halloween, whether you went out last weekend or this one for Dia de los Muertos. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun out there. And game on, dudes.
Game on. Thank you for listening. If you haven't given us a like, give us a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're tuned in next week on Twitch, twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch for Mother Monday. It's going to be great. It's going to be we might be the final one. It's Drix's, another one of Drix's bucket list games, so you don't want to miss it. You also don't want to miss more Retro Goldmine next Tuesday. CFM on Twitch, again, is where you find all of our gameplay. Retro Goldmine, we are diving into Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. It will be day 7. We just beat a bunch of bosses, and we're going to be moving on to the final gauntlet. We're going to do a little bit of grinding, but it shouldn't be too bad. So with that, Drix, we are signing off. Thank you very much. And I guess I'll see you, tomorrow for the Monster Hunter beta.
Yeah, let's get on and hunt.
Have a good night, everybody.
Weekend. Bye.
Happy Halloween.